intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology, paving the road for positive social change.
It's the Golden Road TV show. It's the Golden Road TV show. It's a Golden Road TV show. Yes, it's a Golden Road TV show. It's a Golden Road TV show.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Berry, and I'm here at the Sierra Storytelling Festival in July in North San Juan, California. We wait all year long for this festival, and we've got amazing tellers from all over the world, and even guests that come from all over the world, and we're having a great time here. A little later we're going to have the Story Slam, and I'm brave enough to put my name in the hat first time this year, because the Story Slam is judged and there's a prize. That's July here in North San Juan, and coming up in January in Auburn, our local guild is having its Winter Story Fest. It's always the last Saturday in January. It's at the Gomez Center, 808 Lincoln Way. And if you're interested, you can check the Foothill Storytelling Guild. We have a website. You can call one of us. You can come to our meetings and swap stories and listen, and you can be a part of putting on our festival in January. The website is FoothillStorytellingGuild.com. FoothillStorytellingGuild.com. And we hope you would like to be a part of us. We'd love to hear your stories, and we'd love you to hear ours.
I'm very honored to be here. Kailan na-chut ko ka na na, i-trade ko yan sa chut. Ito-declare ka na ko, kaya chinkin, chut-katas na katulik kin. But I just said it in French, was no. In the Nitska language, that's my mother's language, that's spoken on the west coast of Vancouver Island and the northwestern part, and also on the northwestern part of the state of Washington. A lot of people know them as the Makah people, Kutichikak. There are many, many tribes in the northwest coast, and hopefully in this little time you'll be able to hear some of the native languages. I speak 9 native languages fluently, and I have a hard time with English. English is the hardest language to learn if it's your second language. Well, I was so fortunate to be raised by my grandma and grandpa. They were such beautiful people. But it is tradition to sing, because that's what we do when we first come to the world. We cry, we sing when we're born into this world. And when we leave this world, we sing and we cry again. Sometimes tears of sorrow, sometimes tears of joy, depending on the relative. But we always sing tears of joy when children are born, little babies come into our life. It brings us so much joy. And we'd like to sing this Cecilis Shaker song for you. It's a healing song. These are my sisters. They keep me in line. They're beautiful, beautiful ladies and beautiful mothers also who love children. Sister Lucille and Sister Kathy. And we'll sing this song for you. It's a medicine song, and then maybe later on we'll sing Potlatch song. And we use the sign of the cross. Tatwal Xnan Sman Sitamna Situ Santas Play Klo Masista. The cross is an ancient symbol among our native people, even before Christianity. And so we have incorporated the cross in many of our singing. Many people think it is from Christianity. A lot of it is, but some people it's the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, amen. But our people translate it as this way, that way, and over here and over there. Getting our direction, you know. Sister, the 12 snans man, situm nas, situ santus play, oh my sister, the 12 snans man, situm nas, situ santus play, oh my sister.
I'm Kent Cross from San Diego. I'm up here at the Storytelling Festival because I had never heard of a storytelling festival before. It's absolutely terrific. There's a storyteller named Kevin Kling who is here. I've heard him on NPR, and I was looking to see where he is locally. Found this website, came up here, absolutely love the area. Absolutely love the festivals and all the other people who've been telling stories around here. In San Diego, we're members of the San Diego Makers Guild. Here's our card. And what we do is we put on the maker fairs in San Diego. We have, just like they have a gigantic maker fair in San Mateo, it happens in May, we have two maker fairs that we put on in San Diego. One is in October at Balboa Park, where we take over 8 museums, and one ticket to get into Maker Fair, you see 200 makers and you get into 8 museums. We have robots, we have knitting, we have cupcake cars. We've constructed cupcake cars that you drive around on the Prado. And we have, we also go up to the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum, which is an incredible place. If you get down to San Diego, it's in Vista. Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum has tractors. They have knitting, spinning, trains, blacksmithing. You can learn how to do blacksmithing there. And so it's all about making. And the website for the makers, it's sandiego.makersfair.com. San Diego Makers Guild is sdmakersguild.org is us. And the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum, you can find it just by looking it up on Google.
Hi, I'm Jean, and I'm at the Storytelling Festival, and it's just been a wonderful time. I'm volunteering. We're selling raffle tickets for a beautiful black myrtle wood bowl, hand-carved and spoons. And I just heard one of the Native Americans, Shelley, doing the storytelling, and it was just beautiful. So come on down and join us.
Hey, I'm Jay Beck. I'm from Philadelphia, and I'm here at the Sierra Storytelling Festival up on the San Juan Ridge, and traveling through with my organization called Holy Fool Arts, and we're a small theater group that's trying to talk about eco-justice and collective liberation and sacred water. And we're on our tour, and we wanted to make some time to stop in at the festival and hear some other stories and get inspired and be in this beautiful space for a while. So glad to be here, really enjoying what everybody's sharing so far in this beautiful place. Yeah.
Hi, Michael of Golden Road. It's super, super exciting to have you here. It's just so wonderful for us to have somebody who wants to know what's happening in Mount Shasta. Thank you. Let me start again. That kind of disrupted. Figured, is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
So you tell me when to start.
3, 2.
Hi, Michael of the Golden Road. Welcome to Mount Shasta. And what we do here is really exciting. People have been drawn to Mount Shasta, I would say in the last 30, 40 years, recognizing that it's a spiritual destination. And what happens when people come here is that they do the mountain, they go for their spiritual experience on the mountain, they do the downtown area with the stores and the restaurants, and then they go home again. And when I moved up here in 2008, about a month later I woke up and I went, I don't know anybody here. And I realized that's the experience of visitors to this area. Because there's so much, I found out, so much happening here, and people are very reclusive actually, that you never come upon them. So I thought that what was really necessary was, as I came to know these people more and more, is they're as the best of Mount Shasta as is the mountain the best of Mount Shasta. So that's how it all came to be. And then the first year I put together this conference, I have a friend who's an archaeologist, and she said, well, you can't have a conference up here without including the indigenous people of the area. So I had to go find those people, and it took 2 or 3 years before I could find them and they would agree and all of that. And so now how it is the first day of the Best of Mount Shasta is the local indigenous people doing the opening ceremony in the way in which they learned from their people, and then they're doing the opening ceremony, and then they have the whole day to do their workshops and to have their music. My real interest in creating the Best of Mount Shasta, because I've been a spiritual teacher for about 50 years now, is to find the people who were the spiritual teachers in this area and what did they have to say, what was their experience like by virtue of living in Mount Shasta. And I found many of them were teaching things that you find around the country today, but if you talk to them a little bit more deeply, there's something that they're gaining by living in this location that you don't see in other places. And if I can sort of digress for a moment, part of my training as a spiritual teacher was to study the Vedic tradition. And in the Puranas it says there were 400,000 located human species throughout our universe. So that meant somewhere along the line, way in the past, there were people that could look into the universe and they could actually see these different civilizations. But we as a human species have lost that ability to see. But what happens up here in Mount Shasta, you'll hear it's very common. People will say, the mountain called me. So what was that internal experience? You can't talk about it scientifically, but yet all of a sudden, if you stay here in the summertime, you'll see literally thousands of people coming here who've had the same experience. The mountain called me. And they're from Japan, they're from Australia, they're from Ohio, they're from Louisiana. So something's happening. And then when people come here, a lot of times, not only have they had that experience, the mountain is calling me, but they'll say, Saint Germain told me to come here, or the Ascended Masters told me to come here. So this is a group of people that are exploring what's happening on the other side. It's like their awareness is expanding, and they're seeing things that our scientific community is not seeing. They're seeing things that you don't see people in the general public talking about. And yes, people are talking about Saint Germain and the Ascended Masters, and I'm from Orion and I'm from the Pleiades, and they're talking about these different phenomena at other places, but you really see it accentuated here. And so I think what's happening is this is becoming, they say that it's a vortex, and a vortex means that it's helping people to open and expand their awareness and to begin to wake up and to begin to see. And oftentimes that experience here is people will come here and they say, oh, I've been in Telos before, or I'm from Lemuria, or I'm from here, I'm from there. So they're seeing the little bit of where they're from, but they're not seeing maybe the whole story of where they're from. And then those that live here begin to see more details of the eternity of their experience. So I wanted to capture that. I wanted to bring those people forward to become spiritual teachers and give their presentations at the Best of Mount Shasta. So that's how it really started to come about. And then what happened was that there's all these people here who are working with the earth that exists here and the herbs that come out of this area. And so they started to create their products. And so then became a third day of the Best of Mount Shasta, which is about health and wellness. And it's those people that are exploring how to create a natural medicine kit out of all of the plants and the herbs that you find in this area that can take care of you in so many different ways. So there's a wide spectrum of knowledge and exploration that's taking place in Mount Shasta. And what's happened with this particular event is it's never grown to be the size of a Whole Earth Expo. It's always remained small. And now what's happening is people are going online and realizing it's going to be a small, intimate gathering, and they come here for that reason, because they know that they'll go to the workshop, they'll hear what the person has to say, but then they get to spend 3 days with that person and really explore, well, who are you? Why did you come here? What are you really learning? And by the time they leave, they're friends with the people here. And so when they come back to Mount Shasta, they don't come back and just do the mountain, but they have people to call up on the telephone and work with. And so that's what's special about the Best of Mount Shasta.
Your website.
And the website for the Best of Mount Shasta, very simple, thebestofmountshasta.com. But now when you come up here, you'll find some people spell it M-O-U-N-T and some people spell it M-T. And for the Best of Mount Shasta, in this case, it's MT. So thebestofmountshasta.com, we have links on there to all of our other websites, to YouTube channel and things like that.
I am ready. We're always ready. Here we are. I mean, this moment is the moment. I've been just, you know, every facet of creation and study and life, it's all integrating. We're at this cusp of amazing transformation, awakening, quickening, and where we, each of us, are catalysts for this new earth that we are crying for, calling out for. So just never doubt your own power. Each individual, the truth is the great catalyst. So I think one of the keys I'm seeing for any of us is how much can we live in the truth within the construct of a society that has lots of structures and paradigms that kind of inhibit truth. So see, to break through that and keep speaking our truth, living our truth within relationships, within politics, within economy, within all of these things, and they all combine. Every aspect of life, we can't leave anything out. I love what St. Teresa said of Avila, only God will suffice. That is to say, all the universe is a totality, and each moment, it's not like really, in the past it was this thing, I was a fireman, I was a musician. Nowadays I think it's more becoming, I am that I am, and in that context each moment is a unique expression. Are any of us repeating any two moments really? So everything we're living, every moment is so precious and so unique, and if we just come to it with that love and presence. I'm playing music now. I'm cooking food for my friends and myself now. I am taking out the garbage now. I am just being kind to people, strangers now. It's an ongoing, ever unfolding journey.
Well, I'm Francis Mangels. I'm here on the Golden Road video show, probably on the web. Hope you like it. This is the Best of Mount Shasta here in Mount Shasta, July 23rd, 2017. And I'm Francis Mangels, and I play about 50 different string instruments, so you can take your pick. I was thinking about bringing my big Saxon harp up, but that's kind of heavy, and I thought I'd run around and see what was going on here today. In my hands today, this is something I made. This is the harp of David, King of the Jews. The harp that we know of today did not exist in David's time. And this is, as far as I know, the only lyra in existence, and I am the only lyra player in existence. It made its debut about 4 or 5 years ago at St. Barney's Episcopal here in Mount Shasta, where just about anything can happen. So the lyra I discovered, this is from Psalm 33:2, harp of 10 strings. Doesn't sound like much this way. It goes Dega Dega, D-E-G-A, D-E-G-A-D. Or if you want to tune it kind of backwards but still works, it goes Aged, Aged, Ag. Me being 70, that's something interesting. And to play this, something that mystified me is how come the Greeks always had this funny looking cloth hanging down the end of it? Well, I discovered what it's for. This funny looking cloth that shows up on all the Greek vases. In order to play this thing, you have to rope your hand into it like this. Then you put in every other string and block it like this. There's nothing like it in the modern world. So you always start to the right, which is why we say that's right today. So you start to the right, then move your hand to the left. Or as David, the king, would have said, blessed is the man who walketh not in counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sits with the scoffers' sons. But his daylight is in God's law, and on his law doth he meditate day and night. So it's an odd instrument. It plays by blocking. You block to the right or you block to the left, and it plays simultaneously in Aeolian mode, which we commonly know now as a minor, or Mixolydian mode, which we now call bluegrass mode, and that's just 2 chords. So you get an implied D minor this way, or an implied D major, and the other side, it's a C. Whoops, missed one. Got to get it right. So it's D minor and C for the minor, or it's D major implied with C major implied over on the other side. So you've got 2 simultaneous modes, and the psalmists and all the other songbooks right in the middle of the Bible used a lot of this. Like I said, it's the only one in existence, and you're bound to find darn near anything popping up in Mount Shasta. I'm Francis Mangels, and if you want this around somewhere, give me a call or look me up. I don't travel internationally. I'm just a local guy. You've got to come here and see this in wonderful Mount Shasta. So have a good day and bye-bye.
And
hello, I'm Atlas here at Mount Shasta for the very first time experiencing this Best of Mount Shasta Festival. It's been awesome so far. Great food, great people, great energy. Everyone's so open. My experience so far being here has been somewhat on the magical and mystic side. Like, a lot of people here are into higher consciousness and elevating themselves and evolution, which I really value myself. So it's good to be around like-minded individuals and to share in the energy of the mountain together. The food here has been great Indian food, which was really, really good, and like the vibes and everything. And also today is like we're health conscious at the festival. We're talking about health over the world and health individually. So take better care of ourselves, how to take better care of ourselves, and how to take better care of the earth, and to work in harmony with the earth so we can all live in harmony and love the way that we're created to. And I really appreciate that, and being able to experience all of this with all of these beautiful people.
Hi, my name is Matisse Chanda. My birth name is John Eflin, and I have several things that I'm offering here at the Best of Mount Shasta. One is evolutionary healing, which is about supporting people on their individual evolutionary arc to realize their highest potential. And it works with simple, often just simple energy adjustments that we make in your light body, what's called your light body. I'm doing a class here on vibrational vitality in about 10 minutes. The other thing I'm offering is stone whispering. A stone whisperer is anyone, could be you, that relates to stone, individual stones or geology in a way that's personal, that this thing that appears to be non-living is actually living, and that you can contact it and cooperate with it to a mutual beneficial way that brings greater compassion and understanding in the world. It brings us towards unity, which is what evolutionary healing is about. Common understanding, common respect, common love. So that's what I'm bringing today, along with some music and some fun, and hopefully a little, well, I haven't done any practical jokes yet, but we'll see.
Maybe you have one now. Is there one at the tip of your tongue, perhaps?
Oh, it's more of a practical joke.
Okay, got it. Well, we'll catch up to you later. If we're lucky, we'll synchronistically catch one of those. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mike.
Harmonize that, attune all of our thoughts, feelings, and chakras into the superconscious state of the illumined new earth and new heaven that are joined here. And we're experiencing that union within our hearts. Here at the Best of Mount Shasta, the teachings are coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Well, these are all original songs that I have written before, but I mean, we might jam a little bit too. But we're going to start with a native chant. Hey-ya, 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 ho. Hey-ya, 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 ho. Hey-ya, 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 ho. I love you so. I love you so. Hey-ya, 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 hi. Hey-ya, 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 hi. Spread our wings now and fly. Spread our wings now and fly. We made the decision. We're living for love. Yep, that's it. It shows that energy the string just went. Hey-ya, 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 ho. Hey-ya, 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 ho. I love you so. I love you so. Hey-ya, 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 hi. Hey-ya, 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 hi. Spread our wings now and fly. Spread our wings now and fly. We made the decision. We're living for love. Living for love, we're living for love, love, love. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, hey, ho. Hey, 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 ho. Love you so. Love you so. Hey, hey, hi. Hey, spread our wings now and fly. Spread our wings now and fly. There's a thunderbird soaring overhead. One tongue say, hey, let your heart shine with the Spirit's light. You are so divine. So divine. You're so divine. You're so fine. Feeling love. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma.
Hey. Hello, my name is Catherine Chantierial, and I am also called the Nature Whisperer. I am part of the Mount Shasta Conference this year in 2007 down in City Park in Mount Shasta. And I yesterday had the pleasure of doing this wonderful talk on conscious communication with nature, which is part of my work that I do with photography, and I bring people into the knowingness of how to commune and communicate with nature across the dimensions and beyond the surface that is apparent only by the basic eyes. So it's really fun. I also do a lot of consultations on trauma recovery, interspecies communication, and spiritual advocacy, so you can learn how to incorporate your God self more clearly. And my website is thenaturewhisperer.com, and I am also on Facebook. I live currently in Oregon, and I can work with people remotely, and I am happy to do so at any time. So thank you, and namaste.
What's she saying right now? What's nature saying right now?
Thank you. Nature is saying thank you so much for everyone who is coming and seeing her on this deeper level and choosing to be in oneness and harmony with nature. Because for years humanity has lived in a place of conflict with nature and ruling nature, and what is being asked by the Godhead now is for people to put that aside, come into the oneness and partnership with nature, and open up to that great love that is available to everyone through a partnership. So that is, again, a part of my work, is to help people understand how to do that. And I do talks. I can be hired to do talks, to come in to groups of all kinds, bring my photography, and help people understand how to do this. So thank you.
So my name's Sean. I grew up around Siskiyou County, and it's really diverse on our cultural, spiritual people that show up here. Everyone from people out of a motorhome to out of a backpack to people that grow up around here. It attracts people I've met any one given day. People from all over the world, as well as all over the country, multiple countries, multiple different philosophies. All focus on the same God consciousness. Myself, I've been getting into going to a lot of, well, a few here and there Native American ceremonies. People in that group, those groups have became like family to me. And then coming here to the Best of Mount Shasta and helping out at a booth and helping out with security and lifting or anything being done has been a pleasure and an honor. And volunteer service work for me is a very important part of my spiritual practice of life. Yeah, for you guys listening, it's a great event. It's like to see it grow. I like to see tourists come to Mount Shasta, because it's a special place. Yeah, excellent, awesome place. They say it's where heaven and earth meet. I could believe it.
Howdy, I'm Ted Dawson. I own and make all the good stuff from Mountain Wind to herbs. I guess I learned it since I was a little boy. My great-grandmother and my grandmother taught me from the time I could walk. Maybe before, I don't remember. That was a long time ago. But at 67 years old, I lie and I tell people I'm only 47. And the reason I do that is because I use my products, and because of the Solomon seal, I can move like a young person. When the people get into their mid-60s, sometimes their bodies are a little creaky. I have Solomon seal to help lubricate scar tissue so I don't hurt. So I use my own products to keep myself young. And the reason I'm at the Best of Mount Shasta is to take my cedar bark shelter and teach people to be grounded and centered. I have a root in there that I call the sun root, and when I burn it, it brings people down so they can center with the Mother Earth. And if you're centered with the Mother Earth, you can do spiritual work easier, because once you're centered and grounded, you can go flying off and enjoy the rest of the universe. So that's why I have the root, and I center people around that. Most of these products have come to me because they said that I must study them. Like there's one called Nigella, some people call it black cumin, some people call it black seed, and I use it to keep myself centered and healthy, and it helps restore your body to good health. So that's the one that is chosen. I'm to study it this year. So I learn a new thing every year. I am a native herbalist. I studied herbal remedies for many, many years, became a licensed herbalist, and I call myself a native herbalist to distinguish myself because my Nurelmuk Wintu ancestors have been using these remedies for thousands of years. So a lot of these things are from my ancestors. So that's about who I am.
Oh, website.
Oh, my website, Mountain Wintu Herbs. Mountain, and then all lowercase, WINTUHERBS.org will take you to my blog, and mountainwintuherbs@gmail.com is my email address. You can also get to Mountain Wintu Herbs or Wintu Ted on my Facebook account.
Smile. Hello. Hello everyone, and hello man behind the camera. And I want to tell you, if you have a question for me to help me to say things more, please welcome.
Okay. Just introduce yourself and a little bit about what brings you to Mount Shasta.
Hello, I'm Olga. My physical body originally from Russia, so obviously you may notice I have some Russian accent, which is cool. And this is my first time to be in the Best of Mount Shasta in 2017. I've been hearing about last year about that, but never was ready energetically for that. And this year I feel like I'm ready. I work hard enough to bring my energy to this beautiful place, to this beautiful land, and share my sages and smages. This is what I do with other people. And I actually experience I have one type of expectation about this, like a conference, sale, vending, helping, but what I receive is way, way, way more. I went to maybe 2 or 3 classes yesterday, and I get so much inspiration, so much awakening from the past life experiences, how to heal with herbs. It's just beyond amazing. So, first of all, I get my memory back. I remember my past lives through attending some of the classes. I get inspiration, I get enrichment, education. As well, I help so many people and I receive so much goodness today. Sometimes it go beyond of money, like these beautiful feathers. I went and traded for my sages, for my energy. I get, some people don't even take money back, which this is for you. So it's a lot of magic happen here as a being vendor, as a being attendee, as a being volunteer. Each aspect of this, action give us, me and us, I am, we are, so much more. So I feel very, very grateful and beyond grateful and thankful and inspired and beautiful and healthy, and you can see on my face. More questions?
Hello, my name is Camille Moritz. Spirit calls me a revelator of light. I'm here to teach individuals how to activate and create heaven on earth, as is our divinely intended birthright. I recently wrote a book, and it's named Heaven on Earth Just for Being. It's a light activation playbook, and it's got the daily plays for enlightening life. The Easy Golden Age playbook with the daily plays for enlightening life. This book teaches individuals how to use the power of the spoken word to create heaven on earth and to activate their Christ consciousness so that they can fulfill their soul's purpose and move into that place of freedom, liberation, and peace. I'm here in Mount Shasta sharing this wisdom. Spirit has guided me to travel and to share the truth and the information that they have through me with others. I do clearing and healing sessions which clear the soul's records of the Akashic karmic records of this lifetime, past lifetimes, and non-human lifetimes. When the records are cleared and removed, those are the obstacles. It allows the individual to have the freedom and the ability to set a sacred intent and have that sacred intent in physical form. The individuals that work with me in the spirit realm are the goddesses on the karmic board of records, the angels, the elementals, and all the ascended masters and guides. It's a very vast pantheon of spiritual beings. However, it is really our higher self that does this work for us. Thank you very much. I love all people in all ways. Aloha.
I want to say something about this very sweet soul, Olga. I've been in Mount Shasta for a number of years now, and when I came here, I began to be aware of sage that you can find in Siskiyou County. And what I realized in time was it was the indigenous people that knew about all the different types of sage. Sage is not just sage, and there's just one kind of sage, but it grows here in abundance in many, many different ways and in different seasons. And it's usually the indigenous people that know that. Then I began to meet people that have lived here for a long time that also have that knowledge. Well, I just recently met Olga, who's just recently here, and all of a sudden I'm looking at her booth, and it has all the sages in Siskiyou County. And how was it this young soul could find them all so quickly, and it took these indigenous people lifetimes of knowing about this. So this is really a special person that I want to introduce to everybody, because this is what's happening. People are having this kind of awakening. People are being attracted to Mount Shasta, like Olga. And come here and see what your experiences are. But if you come here, definitely come and meet Olga, because this is one special soul. And she has not only the knowledge of the sage to teach you about, but she's uncovering so much more wisdom. And it's going to be amazing to see what she's like in 5 years.
I actually want to add what happened with me in Mount Shasta, awakening of the memory about Russia, Russian shamanism and Russian teaching from Siberia. So it's being away from Russia thousands of kilometers and miles. All the knowledge, remember, is in my blood, so I can read it in my blood and bring ancestor knowledge from Vedas here.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
My fast bio. Okay, are we on yet?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Linda Ost, MSRD, that's Master of Science in Nutrition, and a registered dietitian, and I love gardening. And so rather than do clinical, I discovered that the way to get people to eat more fruits and vegetables is to get them to grow it themselves in whatever space they have, with whatever sun and shade pattern they have, whatever kind of soil they have. We start with what you have, and I'm up here in Siskiyou County, which is not cold by South Dakota standards by a long shot. You can get Brussels sprouts and kale and a lot of things to grow under the snow. I'll show you how to amend the worst possible soil, how to grow and what to grow when, and wow, change your life. Change your life. Gardening's the ultimate exercise, and it's very healing. And your diet will change automatically when you just start eating what you can grow. You'd be surprised at what you can grow and how much you can grow.
So one of the parts of the show, it's a magazine format, it's called Gift of Health. So we might put this under a little bit of the Gift of Health section. So really quickly, could you give people a simple tip based on your knowledge of nutritional deficiencies and what most people fall between, of something people could do at home, quickly, conveniently, what they can eat to have a better quality of life?
What you can do quickly, conveniently, is pile your plate with fresh fruits and vegetables. More of that, less of the other. And when you do eat meat, chop it up, mix it in with the fruits and vegetables in the form of a stir fry, or however you do that. This is about the big picture, because the bulk of your diet is what drives the direction of your health. And little supplement pills are not going to change what you're doing to yourself, you know, daily with the burgers and the fries and whatnot. So this is a shift that you're going to love. Besides, there's a personal investment when you grow your own food, and you love to eat it, and it tastes better, and it's part of you.
Elizabeth Marcus.
Start again now.
My name's Elizabeth Marcus. I live here in Mount Shasta, California, going on 40 years. And I like photography, so I do landscapes, natural landscapes. I like to go to places like Panther Meadows, Castle Lake, and other sacred places, whether it's Stewart Springs or even Hedge Creek Falls down in Dunsmuir. And I like to photograph nature. And I also do photograph events for the speakers, and I try to cover, you know, get their picture and help out with the events that happen here in Mount Shasta for the Best of Mount Shasta and any other events. There's like WESAC and Earth Day, and I worked with the Native American Indians for their ceremonies as well. And that's basically it.
And could you share just a personal story that comes to the forefront of your consciousness and all of your travels and everything you photograph is something that was really special that struck you?
Well, when you start looking at the nature photography, you start seeing elementals like the rock beans, the gnomes. You see sometimes fairies, the blue orbs. You see rainbow spectrums. You see things that you go, what is that? Wait a minute. And then I enlarge the picture and I start really looking, and then I start seeing more. So I have a tendency to kind of take the picture and then later go back and look at it and go, what do I have here? Sometimes I find things that the naked eye doesn't see, but the camera picks it up, and then when you enlarge it, you find it. So it's all pretty magical.
Hi, my name is Sage Trucano, but I usually just go by Sage. And the reason why I'm here, one thing is I have a love for Mount Shasta, and it was through like Charlie Tom and a bunch of friends that I made my way here with lodging and found out it was a very magical place, and was invited to share my particular medicine, which is mostly just Mayan traditional healing. And I have to give credit to this beautiful woman, Miss Beatrice Waite from Santa Familia, Belize. And she was my teacher and taught me how to do healing, uterine massage, Mayan healing, and the tinctures. We're breaking down here, so my table isn't quite like it is, but what I really appreciate is different modalities of healing, and we all have different gifts. And Miss Beatrice gave me a way to use the knowing and I guess intuitive healing when you hear and read pulse readings. So really I knew at a very young age, at 7, that I wanted to help people. I'm a licensed therapist, which seems strange in how this all works together. And I'm an herbalist, and I don't know if you call it a spiritualist, but really my job is to take all these things I've ever had in my toolkit and to help whoever comes to me in any way that I can. And so I had a really interesting time here and had beautiful people come that needed things from their heart and touched me, and I hope I touched them in a really beautiful way. But really I'm here to help you find out how to heal yourself. I'm not the healer you are. I'm just reminding you of what you need to do and giving you the tools, teas, herbal baths, tinctures, prayers, ways to connect with the earth and the elements, ways to move energy. So that's basically what I do. I don't have a website yet, so I'm sorry I can't give that to you. I'm working on that. But you can find me Sage Dreams on Facebook, and word of mouth, and hopefully I'll catch up with society. And I'm kind of old-fashioned. People find me and I'm here, but hopefully, as the train keeps rolling, that if you need to, you'll find me, and I hope to keep doing this good work as long as I walk on this earth. And thank you for letting me just share that.
So my name is Carla Chiraga, and I'm here at the Best of Mount Shasta Festival, and I have 2 roles at this event. The first one is my husband, Mario Gonzalez, leads the Native American powwow drum, and we call ourselves Earth Circle Drum, and we've been doing the opening for this event for, well, since it got started, really. And so we're a Native drum group that travels to different ceremonies and different festivals, mainly doing openings and blessing people for, usually as they come into events, and sometimes for leaving the event. So like a welcoming and a blessing them on their way home. And then I also had the opportunity, this is my second time this year, of doing my own workshop here. And what I did is I shared healing information that I learned from my abuelita, my grandmother, about traditional Mexican healing modalities, or we call it curanderismo, curandera. We talked about some limpias and just different indigenous methods of doing folk healing. And my friend here has a lot of experience too, and he's been doing it a lot longer than I. So his name is Oz, and I'll pass it on to him.
My name is Otsinu Sholako. I come from the Lipanjene people, the current high chief of our people. Talking about the Pueblo way, which is curanderismo, as far as that Pueblo medicine, that's synonymous within the, we could say Hispanic culture, but it's really more indigenous herbology, and as well as indigenous ways mixed with Catholic prayer or Christian prayer. So that's really what curanderismo is. Historically, it's not anything else. It's not Santeria, it's not Yoruba, it's not any of that. That's totally separate. Although now it's starting to be combined, true curanderismo is a lineage from your family. So where I learned from both my paternal and my maternal side. So and very lucky, very privileged to have that kind of medicine way. Not only with the medicine plants, learning about the brothers and sisters that come north with ayahuasca or wachuma, but predominantly with the peyote way, which is very, very southern to Texas, all the way down into Peyote Mountain in Mexico, San Luis Potosi, Mexico. So the Spanish lineage last names are Castillo Martinez, so synonymous with the Castillo Martinez of Torreon, New Mexico, right there among the Navajo Nation. So right bordering the pueblos, so we're all bordering each other with the Lipanjene people, sharing a lot of the different ideologies, but also the similarities of our dress, the way we dance, the way we speak, the respect that we have for one another, such as our cousins to the south. You know, we come from them, so we give them that precedence to our elders, to our ancestors like that. So it's really, really important, in my own personal opinion, that when we're appropriating something, that we're sure that we keep that lineage, that we keep that history, and that we keep that way, so that we're not misappropriating what we're learning. So like Miss Sage said earlier, this is my teacher, Miss Beatrice Waite. She learned with her. So then as I learned with my grandparents, and as well as sister learning from her family as well, and other elders as well. So as our elder medicine people come into our path, we learn from each other. We share that in a good way, and with respect, common respect for one another. So the great importance among the native people is that self-control and that self-respect, and that as it reflects back upon us, that we're able to carry that in a good way. My first time here at Mount Shasta, speaking about curanderismo, and the northern way, as far as the southwestern Mesoamerica form of curanderismo, which is not much different. The same herbs, the same prayers. It's just a little bit different as far as the songs and the ceremonies go, incorporated in the peyote way. Thank you.
I forgot to mention, I'm from, my family's from Chiapas, next to Guatemala. That's where I come from. So he's right, though, we share, the traditions are very similar. Though there's parts of Mexico where it was lost. So the parts where it remains is the parts that have more connection with the indigenous, and he's right. You know, the way that those folk beliefs continued and kept on is that they put what I call a veneer of Catholicism to make it okay and acceptable to Christianity or the Catholic way, but we still practice our traditional beliefs that were there before the conquest, but just use the Catholic prayers to, you know, make it okay for the church.
And Miss Beatrice did the same thing. So it's funny because she does a lot of the Mayan, and we watch and it's all similar medicine, you know, using egg and reading songs, and some of the prayers are right from the Bible, but they've used to incorporate some of those prayers so that they can keep the medicine going for the people underlying. And it's really beautiful. She reads the same thing, and I watch how Carla does it and what he does, and it's a lot of things are very similar. It's really beautiful that those traditions were kept because they're more powerful. You know, I've seen a lot of different things, you know, even as a therapist, and we've talked about this. Carla works also, you know, in that realm of social work, and it has its place, but the power of the medicine and the things that people are doing here, it has such a quicker and deeper context and a way of shifting and healing people on such a more intimate level. It's really needed, and I'm glad that it's resurfacing and hopefully in a respectful way.
Truly, the holistic sense of the indigenous way, with our style of acupuncture, our herbalism, our method of prayer, incorporated with the emotional side of the human or of the patient. So it's really, really important to we keep things holistic.
I think one of the things that's missing in this world is, in our Western world, is rituals and ceremony. We've lost a lot of that, and I think that's what people are longing for, and I think that's one of the things that I believe people that attended this event are here to learn. You know, and I met people from Seattle and from the Bay Area and from Chico, and this one lady from Chico said that this event was life transformative for her. So it'd be nice to get more people to come and experience it.
I'm Katie Davis. I am the baker and owner of New Dawn Bakery, located in Auburn, California. We started New Dawn Bakery baking out of our home kitchen and selling at the Nevada City Farmers Market. Within the first year, we realized it was so popular that we needed a commercial space with a larger oven. And so we moved down to Auburn, and we now have a storefront and a commercial bakery. We are a dedicated gluten-free bakery with vegan, paleo, and dairy-free options. We are now open to the public 5 days a week. Come bring your family, enjoy a goodie, and a fresh cup of coffee.
It's the Golden Road TV show. It's the Golden Road TV show. Well, listen once, listen twice. Oh, won't you please take my advice? It's the Golden Road TV show.com.
Come on, you guys, put your hands together. We're welcoming in the spirits here tonight. Earth, water, fire, air, spirit.
Follow the golden road, follow the golden road. Follow, 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 follow the golden road. We're off to see the Golden Road TV show. You'll find it is a whiz of a show, if ever a show there was. It's arts and culture and history, environment, health, technology, and peace and justice, science, just because of the meaningful things it does. We're off to see the Golden Road TV show.
intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology.